Sam Reynolds. Sam is a former Pueblo student who has become an author, which is really exciting. And he's going to talk a little bit about himself and about how he goes about writing. So I hope you'll give him your full attention. Thank you.
Hello, guys. Like Kathy said, I'm Sam Reynolds. I used to go here a long time ago. And I'm here to talk to you about what I do. I am 17. I am a junior currently. I went to Pueblo when they had the original Spirit Dog scheme, as you can see in my whaled shirt. I went here during the 2010-2011 school year. I had Miss Siminek, who still goes here. Miss Pate is retired. Miss Alver is in Oregon now, and Miss Zuckerquist, which I'm still here. I go to a charter school now called Heritage Academy. It's in downtown Mesa. It's right across from the Mesa Arts Center. It kind of looks like a church, the steeple. I'm a junior there and will be graduating next year. So how the books began, Mr. T-Rex. It was the summer before my 6th grade year coming here to Pueblo, and I was with my best friend over at his house. Just kind of one of those days where you're in the pool, you're just not really thinking, you're eating barbecue chips, and all of a sudden you just think, I'm going to write a book. And that's what I did. I've been obsessed with dinosaurs since I was a little tyke in 2nd grade. And I loved the Jurassic Park movies. They were always my favorite. And I decided to base my book ideas on the concept of dinosaurs. The writing process, writing 2 books at the same time, and how it does not work. Ever. I should have put ever there. So when I started writing Dino Hunters before I came to Pueblo. And then when I was caught up in all of my thinking, I started thinking, hey, I'm going to have 4 books in the series, so let's start writing the 3rd one at the same time. And that is a terrible idea, because writing 2 books at the same time, especially when they're either not right next to each other or you're trying to write the beginning and the end of the story at the same time, it never works. So having to balance all that continuity, and if, say, one thing happens in this book, it has to affect the other one, it just doesn't work and it's too hard. So I had to basically trash almost everything that I wrote in that book, which is sad. Pueblo used to have a writing club. I wish I had brought my binder with me, where they would encourage students to write books and do creative things, and then they would publish it on this really, really nice paper. And they'd give it to you in a cute little binder. And I still have it. It's really nice. I published what I had written of that 3rd book. Now, the concept over actual writing philosophy. When I was writing my books early on, one of the things that I struggled with was actually writing, because writing is hard. And I focused more on the concept design of how the characters were going to look, rather than what they were actually going to do in that real story. So my first bit of advice for you is if you are writing yourselves and you have all these cool ideas for these characters, great. But if you focus in on drawing how they look and updating design, I did that. I updated so many designs. Then that takes away time you could be writing and actually getting your story somewhere to where you can actually use those concepts, and I have. Now, publishing. Some of you might know a girl named Lizzie Stewart. She went here the year after I went here. She introduced me to this company called NaNoWriMo. It means National Novel Writing Month, and she used this company. They have this competition every November where you set a word goal of at least 30,000 words, and you have to write a book in 30 days. And she used that. She wrote a 80-page book, which was really, really well written, in 30 days, published it, and I bought it. I have a copy. It's really, really nice. And basically, after you set your word goal, and you beat that word goal within the time limit of November 30th, then you get a chance to publish with Amazon's publishing company called CreateSpace. And so I entered the competition in November of 2014, 4 years after I had started writing the books, to use that as an opportunity for me to finish Dino Hunters Part 1 and to get it out there to the public. Basically how CreateSpace works is when you win NaNoWriMo, they send you a code, and you use that code as your password to actually make your account in the first place. And then that code can be used to get you free books for 3 transactions, which is really nice. And basically you upload your interior file, whatever document, PDF, whatever you're using, You can use this software to make your own cover, which I did for both of the books. And after you have everything set, you set it to be approved. You send it to them. They approve it within 24 hours. And then within the next day or two, it is on Amazon.com, which is really nice. My completed projects. I'm going to do this a little bit differently than I have for the other classes. So, first I'm going to take a drink. I'm talking too much. So, Dino Hunters Part 1. This is the first edition that I published on December 11th of 2014. You see the title's a little bit different, text a little bit different. The reason there's 3 versions is because I neglected in my writing process to remember that, oh, this took 4 years for me to write, so it's loaded full of mistakes. So this was the first version, unedited, anything that I published, and I'm like, I can't do that. So then came the second version, where I updated the title a little bit, I fixed something that was wrong on the back cover, and then I realized, oh, there's still more edits. So I took a black pen and edited this thing like no other. Like one of my English teachers probably would. And then after 9 grueling days of editing and putting stuff back into the computer, I came with the third and final version. Text was still the same, and everything was just nice and dandy, nice and edited. It's the best version of this book that I have. So I'm going to read you guys the summary of this book first, so it kind of makes a little bit more sense. Harrison Lumina was just an ordinary teenager living in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He and his 7 friends would soon experience the greatest tragedy of their time, because they would be the ones to save mankind from total annihilation. What seemed as a night at the prom turned into a gory disaster, and what seemed as normal was all thrown away. The city was destroyed, and a man was claimed responsible. He did what no one thought was possible. He bred species that were lost to the ravages of time. He reanimated prehistoric dinosaurs for one purpose: to wreak havoc. Will Harrison and his friends be able to stop him in time? Will the villain be brought to justice, or bring the planet down to its knees? Will the government try to sabotage the mission rather than aid our heroes? Will the group known as the Hunters complete the task ahead, or come short and seal humankind's extinction? Discover in this thrilling novel full of intense action, romance, mysteries around every corner, and a story that will keep you on the edge of your seat begging for more. The truth, the real story, is unveiled in the beginning of this deadly journey, Dino Hunters Part 1. And then we came to Part 2. So Part 2, Armageddon, I told you that Part 1 took 4 years to write. This one took 4 months. I dramatically changed the time it took me to write books because I knew I could do it, so I tried my fastest to get this one done. And I have not released a second version of this because I gave it to my friend. We edited it side by side so to make sure it could be the best it could be. There might be a few more mistakes, but that's okay. Every book does have a mistake or two. And I will read you guys the summary for this one. Left in ruins with a member dead and the ships obliterated, the hunters' only objective left is to survive. The island of Torontico is full as a place of many secrets, and the group discovers these secrets as they try to uncover the mysteries of the island. Oliver Jensen still poses a grave threat to society and the world, greater than before. Will they be able to cage the dinosaur threat in time? Or will they be forced to take extreme measures and change their objective entirely in order to save the world? Harrison and those who remain will be put to the ultimate test that will either unite them together or sever them permanently. Dive into the highly anticipated sequel to Dino Hunters Part 1 and follow the hunters through the next phase of their perilous, life-threatening journey in Dino Hunters Part 2, Armageddon. And my glorious selfie as my author photo from Hawaii. Isn't it glorious? Let's see, what's next? Oh yes, my current projects. Are you looking? I'll just do it manually then. So my current projects are coming this spring. I'll just do it there. I am currently in the works of my 3rd book. I'm calling it Deadlock. It's not going to be called Dino Hunters Part 3 for various reasons if you read the books. I was originally going to release this on December 11th of last year to commemorate the 1-year anniversary of Part 1, but sadly life got in the way and that didn't happen. But I'm trying to get this done probably within the next month or 2 as quick as possible. So...
Could you just speak up a little bit? It's kind of hard to hear back here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to read you the summary that I've got so far for Deadlock. Let's see what you guys think. Although the hunters managed to escape the clutches of Oliver Jensen on Torontico, he still remains a grave threat. Thought to be dead, there is nothing left to stop him from unleashing the final phase of his ultimate plan, making humanity pay the price. Finding themselves on the run, will the team be able to end Jetson's plans before they come to fruition? Or, when faced with a bounty on their heads, will Harrison's actions risk the future of humanity? Just over a year after the first in the series was released, the next chapter of the long-lost secret series has arrived. Join Harrison and his team as they once again have to fight their way to survive this epic yet grim journey. Prepare, as all hope seems lost and all hell breaks loose in Deadlock. That is the summary for the third one. My plans for the future are I plan to finish this long lost secret series with 2 more books. I plan to have Deadlock sometime this spring, and the 4th book will be called Annihilation. It will come out later in 2016. I plan to visit more schools. I've gone over to visit the 5th graders at Paloma, and they were really welcoming. They really loved the books, and I'd love to go do it again. All the classes I've had so far today have been really enthusiastic. They've loved these presentations. And I hope that with the talents that I have as a creative writer and as an author, as a storyteller, that I can show the world what I'm capable of and how far I'm willing to go to make things as perfect as they can be with my stories, dialogue, and characters. And now, if I assume my slideshow is good, we're now going to have time left for you guys to ask any questions, and I will answer them. Tell me your name.
Frankie.
Frankie.
Okay, so how did you stay committed to writing the book, like finishing the book until 4 years?
Well, the main reason why it took me 4 years rather than 4 months for the second one was because I'm really lazy, and I would write for a little bit, like say 1 or 2 chapters, and then I wouldn't write for weeks. And then I'd write some more, and then I wouldn't write. And then that process kept going on and on and on for years, until I finally came down to the wire, used NaNoWriMo to actually push that drive and finish the book. And then, since I still had that drive, I wanted to get the next one out as soon as possible. And I'm trying to do the same thing with the third book as well.
And then, so there's just going to be 4 books in total?
Mm-hmm. Tell me your name.
Isaiah, do you plan on writing any more series?
I was planning on writing a spin-off novel to Dino Hunters, but it was going to have dragons. And what I decided to do was I wanted to still incorporate that story element. So what I'm doing with part 3, or Deadlock, is I'm taking that entire story arc of dragons and putting that into the book. And then I'm having the other main arc of the main story going into present time. So there's going to be 2 side-by-side arcs. One of them is going to be present time, one of them is going to be with dragons in another dimension. Tell me your name.
Espen.
Espen?
If someone was to write a book, do you think they would have to be a certain age to do it, or
No. There really isn't an age limit or requirement, I guess, for either of the things that I did. The Create Space is free, and the NaNoWriMo is free. You don't have to be a certain. I'm pretty sure you can't be 4 and do it. If you guys wanted to do it, by all means, go and do it, because it's something that I think everybody should do. Tell me your name.
John David.
John.
Do you think you're going to do NaNoWriMo again?
I did do it again this past year with the hopes of finishing Deadlock in time, but because it didn't happen, I didn't win the competition. If I do plan to write more books, I'm thinking maybe I'll use it to finish Annihilation if it happens to be coming out later in the fall than in the summer.
So later in your authoring career, first, are you gonna make this your career, for life?
Right now, I'm still kind of deciding what I want to do with a career, and this is a good thing to do as kind of off to the side kind of career. If I could do this as a career, it would be so cool. But I'm thinking that for right now, it's just more of a side career, a hobby, but maybe.
If you were to take it far, where you went to make multiple series, do you think you would want to have a movie?
I have to talk to Hollywood about that, but a movie would probably be the best thing ever that could happen. Tell me your name.
Alex.
Alex.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
T-Rex, obviously.
Do you get money for writing books?
I do. How CreateSpace works is you set the price to list the books on Amazon, or it's actually pretty cool. What you can do is like it puts it on Amazon automatically, but it also goes to extended services like Barnes and Noble and other bookstores. So I set the price. I've set the price for $10 for each of the books, and then Amazon can make whatever sale they want. To say like, oh, $10, we're going to sell it for $9.50 or $8. And no matter how much they make the sale, I still get 40% of the profits, which right now is like $4. So, everything?
And is it sold in stores?
Right now it is not, but I know it is on BarnesandNoble.com.
Is it sold or like other than Amazon and like Barnes and Noble? Is there like any others?
Well, I know there's Barnes and Noble. I know there's Amazon. I'm trying to think what other extended services they are. I know it goes to a branch of other bookstores, but I'm not sure which specific bookstores it is.
Because I'm trying to see, because like I have a account for like.
How much money have you made?
How much money have I made? I think like $80.
You sold 32 books?
How many books have you sold?
I think I've sold around 20 of the first one, and like 15 of the second one, maybe 12 of the second one.
How has this like affected your life, like your school and like with school and
How's it affected me? Well, I was really excited when I first got this first book done, and I wanted to just like share it with everybody. And as soon as I got it done and it was out, it was online, it was live, I sent a big group email to all of my teachers at my school telling them about it. And then I come to school the next week, I brought the book and I showed it to all of them. But before I even got to school and I sat down in class, the principal took it upon himself and he announced the book to the entire school. It was so cool. And then he did that for the second one too. I'm like, this is amazing. And like seeing how people like respond to your books or respond to your ideas, like it kind of gives you like a warm feelings in here, and it just makes you even more proud of the things that you've done because they're hard, but you still made it through anyway.
Do a bunch of people at your school like your book?
Yeah.
What college do you hope to go to?
I'm thinking probably BYU.
BYU? Me too.
Is there like with the whole school knowledge and everything, is they like put it in the library?
Well, our school is kind of weird because we're really small, so we don't have a library, which is kind of sad.
Okay,
Well,
maybe
it'd
one
be-
more question, and then we do need to go. The next class is ready to
Okay.
go.
Will it be in the library?
I don't know. Maybe we can make that happen. One last one.
What's your favorite book besides your own?
Besides my own is Ender's Game.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, thank you very much.